Welcome to the Mixed Race Belonging podcast, where we explore the intersection of mixed identity and belonging through the lens of somatics and personal and collective liberation to help you heal your belonging wounds and reconnect with your innate wholeness through relationships, new experiences, and activism. I'm your host, Raina LaGrand, an embodiment coach for mixed race people with a background as a trauma therapist, yoga teacher, and health educator. The tools and insights I share with you here are the approach that has not only helped me heal my belonging wound, but also helped me help my mixed race clients do the same. We all need something good to belong to right now. Relationships and spaces where we feel safe, held, seen, heard, and dignified. Thanks for being here, and let's get started with today's show. Hey, y'all, welcome back to the show. Today is an exciting day for two reasons. One is that tonight is the free 90-minute experiential belonging blueprint workshop, which you can still sign up for if you're hearing this episode during the day on Tuesday, February 24th. In this workshop, you are going to learn two fundamental somatic skills that will help you to feel safe and secure in your body and your relationships as a mixed person, even if you've never truly felt held by anyone, which I know is just such a common experience for us mixed folks. This is a great opportunity to also kind of like do some of this learning in community with other mixed people. And the second reason that today is so exciting is because today is the first day that registration is open for Belonging Building Blocks, my group program for mixed folks who want to feel grounded, held, and at home in their bodies everywhere they go. The Belonging Blueprint Workshop is a really great taste of what you can expect to learn more of when you join Belonging Building Blocks. So in today's episode, I want to share with you just a bit more about the Belonging Building Blocks program and some of the details, and then you're going to get to hear from a former Belonging Building Blocks participant about her experience with one of the components of the program. So Belonging Building Blocks is a course that takes place over 11 weeks that includes 9 group sessions. We start with the Foundations Retreat, which is a slightly longer session where we're really going to get to know each other, kind of create our online village, and dip our toes into somatic practices. And then the next 7 sessions are group practice sessions where we're exploring the relational movement cycle, which is a somatic framework that really will help you to notice, get curious about, and sort of reshape some of the ways that you act or feel in your relationships so that you can feel a deeper sense of belonging with yourself and with others. And then the final session is a harvest festival where we're really taking time to process and reflect on our time together. In addition to those 9 group sessions, when you join Belonging Building Blocks, you will get immediate access to a digital workbook and the group signal chat. So when you sign up for Belonging Building Blocks, I'll just take a look at sort of your application, quote unquote application. I just want to make sure it's a good fit. And then I'll send you an invoice. And as soon as you pay that invoice and sign the contract for the program, you'll get that digital workbook, which is going to include information on all the major concepts we're covering, including practices and reflection questions, so that you can continue to implement what you're learning outside of our sessions. And then you'll also get added to the group Signal thread. Signal is a messaging app that a lot of people have these days. It's a really great encrypted app. So if you don't get it and you want to be in the group chat, you'll need to download it. But this is a way for you to stay connected to your other group members between calls. And I'll also share a weekly prompt. And kind of like midweek, usually on like Wednesday or Thursday, so that again, you can like keep integrating what you're learning. In addition to those 2 resources, you will get discounted deep dive calls with me. So whenever you need some focused TLC, you can book a one-on-one session with me at a discounted rate. My normal rate is $250 an hour, but these are priced at $175. And you can use these one-on-one calls as many times as you want throughout the 11 weeks that we're meeting to really go deeper on some of the real life challenges that you're dealing with, different emotions, relationships, relationships or other situations where you want to kind of work through some obstacles and really feel one-on-one support with that. You'll also get lifetime access to the Practice and Connect space, which is every other month space that I hold for all current and former participants of both my one-on-one and group programs, where we gather to practice our skills and just kind of connect and chat. It's always a good time. We always have really interesting discussions, and people always leave feeling like so much more connected and validated than when they came. Finally, something that's really exciting is that just the last cohort, I implemented an optional buddy system because if we're talking about belonging and relationships, you're joining this program because you're sick of feeling alone. And I obviously like there's so much between the group signal chat and the lifetime access to the Practice and Connect space that will help you to not feel alone. But I know for some of us, if we do if for especially for those of us who do well in like smaller groups, it can be really great to have like one person who you are consistently meeting with outside of our group session times and who you might even like develop a relationship with, that will continue beyond the end of belonging building blocks. And today you're going to hear a little bit more from a former Belonging Building Blocks participant, Katy, who participated in the buddy system. And I think Katy and her partner, her buddy, were two of the people who I think really got the most out of the program because they did the buddy system. So I know that signing up for something when you already have like wounds and insecurities around belonging, it can feel like a stretch. And then to like meet one on one with someone can feel like even more of a stretch. But I thought that if you all could hear from Katy, it might inspire you to A, sign up for Belonging Building Blocks, and B, when you do that, to participate in the buddy system. So without any further ado, let's hear a conversation that Katy and I had. I'm really excited today to have a former Belonging Building Blocks participant with me to share a little bit about her experience. Katy, where are you calling in from?
Hi, Raina. I'm so happy to be here. I'm calling in from the Bay Area in beautiful California.
Lovely. That sounds nice. I'm gonna be in California in a couple weeks. I think by the time this airs, I will be back from California. I'll be in LA, but I gotta make it up to the Bay someday soon.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah. So yeah, Katy was a participant in the last Belonging Building Blocks cohort, and that was the first cohort where I introduced an optional buddy system. And so I just thought it would be interesting for folks to hear about the buddy system and just like how it was for Katy, because I think it was both really supportive for you and your buddy, and also I think because we're doing belonging work and like we don't know each other, it can sometimes feel a little nerve-wracking, to develop like a relationship with someone outside of like our set like session times. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of run the buddy system, and I'm gonna do it the same way this time, like pretty organically. Like people will have each other's contact information, and I will offer opportunities to kind of connect and like form a buddy system, but it won't be mandatory or anything like that. So, Katy, just to kind of get us going, can you share with us why you signed up for Belonging Building Blocks and maybe like one or two ways that it's felt supportive for you?
Oh, yeah. I signed up for Belonging Building Blocks because I had seen some of your work in another mixed community space, and you really tapped into something that I thought was, it really hit home for me that I do experience a belonging wound. And so I was like, okay, what's next? Obviously,
Mhm.
Belonging Building Blocks on top of that. So that's one of the big reasons why I joined. And a few things that I got from the program, so many things. Um, One, you offer like a very holistic approach. It's very humanistic as well. So I feel like all parts of me, like, are encouraged to try and find a sense of belonging. So that's really nice and refreshing. Um, Also a sense of community, like mixed community can be hard to come by depending on where you are. So it was really nice to have kind of like a regular touch point with people. We're all kind of talking about the same thing with a goal in mind to like help heal our very unique belonging wounds that we also kind of, share with each other. Um, yeah, those are a couple of things that
Yeah.
I really got from it.
Yeah, it really is so special to like have mixed community, like specifically.
Right.
I know like some parts of the country have like intentional community around that, but most don't. So yeah, it's really special. What encouraged you to make use of the buddy system?
Um, a a few things. I think one, I try and get the most out of it if I'm going into a community space. Like, yes, it's going to be awkward for me to put myself in like new social situations, but at the same time, like if my goal is to belong and build community, I'm realizing that's something that I should probably do. And you never know. So kind of just going in with an attitude like, I'm sure if I meet someone in this group, like we already have like something in common, and kind of just seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah, I love that. And did you have any anxieties or hesitations about it?
I did, to be honest.
Hmm.
So kind of like you had mentioned earlier, I was actually talking to my buddy about this, that it's kind of like I don't know the word, like meta in a way where we have these belonging wounds and we're all coming together as a group. And so like the course in itself is going to be like triggering to a belonging. Like, do I belong here? Like,
Yeah.
and so some like I just naturally sometimes I think because of my particular wounding, I sometimes just do better in smaller groups. I feel like I
Hmm.
shine in smaller situations rather than being put into a larger group. I don't know how I fit in. I don't know how much I should talk. Should I not talk? You know, how am I going to help or hinder the dynamic is always something that I'm thinking
Hmm.
about in a larger space. So the buddy system is like a really nice space where you kind of like take what you've learned throughout the group and you're just one on one. And there's nobody
Hmm.
listening, nobody watching. And you guys are just kind of chatting through what you learned and hopefully, working out that muscle too that you're kind of trying to build.
Yeah. Yeah, you all did a really good job, it sounds like, of using your time intentionally. How how like was that first meeting? Like how did you kind of get the
Yeah.
flow going?
Yeah, so my buddy had reached out to me. I'd put my name in the contact sheet and was like, "Hey, Katy, are you interested in being my buddy?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I feel so honored. Like, someone wants to be my buddy." And I think that also takes like the other person like reaching out. So don't be afraid to reach out because you never know. Um, and yeah, I remember the first call, we kind of were trying to just set up a time that worked for both of us. Um, and the reason why we actually met is because this person had expressed, they were like, I'm having challenges or around wrapping my head around this like relational movement cycle, like yield, like I'm really stuck. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of challenging. I'm kind of finding it challenging as well. Like, how about we just like chat about it and go through the slide deck and like our notes? I kind of used it as like a little study session. Maybe that's like
Hmm.
the dork in me. But our first session, because we had a goal to understand like what yield is, it kind of gave us like a focal point to always circle back to. Um, and yeah, the slide deck was also really helpful. So we kind of just went through it together and chatted through the slides and chatted through what each of us thought. And it was really helpful to, I think, hear the other person's like opinion or how their understanding of it. And a lot of those like deeper conversations that you can't really have in a group context, we
Hmm.
were able to have one on one because it was just our time together with the intent of like really noodling on yield.
It sounds like that really like set you up for the sessions after that. You were like, okay, we've got this concept and now,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
we always really try, like, I mean, to this day, we're still kind of utilizing the buddy system. Like, this buddy
Hmm.
is now like a friend of mine.
Yeah,
Um,
that's so sweet.
yeah, they actually were in my area like a few weeks ago, and we actually got to meet in person, which was really
Oh my
cool.
God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so I think we both do a really good job. We understand like the context that we met. And so even just like as we're talking about like our things that are happening in our life, it's like a great support buddy system. And then we'd kind of like pull it back. We use it as a way like to say, hey, Katy, I think this is an opportunity for you to reach a little bit. Like this is kind of what it sounds like to me. Or like, what relational cycle do you think this is? Like, why do you think this is hard for you? And kind of just trying to be like, not really like prescriptive, but just like a space where we can, with curiosity, just like bounce questions off of each other and see how does this relate to our belonging wound. And that's
Mm.
been our North Star. And I think that really works for us and our dynamic. So it's been great.
That's really great. Yeah. And that's my hope is that you can really see these concepts that we talk about like as they relate to your actual relationships in your life
Mm-hmm.
and use that as like a frame of reference around when to kind of lean in or lean out or reach or push, as you
Mm-hmm.
say. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Anything else like notable about how having a buddy shaped your experience in belonging building blocks?
Um, yeah, I mean, again, it was, I don't know if I already said this, but it's like a place where you practice kind of what you learn throughout the week. It's a more like
Mm,
intimate setting. And also just kind of knowing someone is like going through it with you. Like you're not, because these concepts can be abstract and you do such a great job at making them palatable and digestible. And I mean, I cannot recommend belonging building blocks enough. But it's also, oh, I just got lost in how much I love your course. Um,
oh,
but oh yeah, it gave me like another like framework to kind of like think about everything. And then having a buddy was like, okay, this is what I'm getting from it. Is that what you're getting from it? Like, yeah, I think we're on the right track.
that's really cool. I
Yeah.
love that. And I love that you love the course too. It's my baby, so I'm like, yay, other people like it.
You should
People
be a
like me.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, what would you say to future participants about using the buddy system?
I would say lean in.
Mm,
Um, lean in. If you're coming to this course and you know you have a belonging wound, like this is a great opportunity to, there's this quote, it's like cliche, feel the fear and do it anyway.
hmm
And you use this phrase like, is it safe enough? And for some people, maybe it's not safe enough, but I definitely felt safe enough, especially with the framework that you set up to safely engage in a buddy system while doing this deep work. So I would say lean in, and then you can always push, opt out if it's just not aligned anymore, you know?
hmm hmm Absolutely. Thank you, Katie, so much. So, as you can see, participating in the buddy system not only helped Katie to actually really integrate what we were learning in belonging building blocks, but have someone who understood her life specifically and like her relationships and was able to kind of act as a mirror around other things that Katie could be aware of or try. And Katie actually made a friend with this buddy, and they've been able to meet in real life, which I think is just so special. And we all need people like that we can visit in other towns. Lord knows travel is expensive. So if you have someone you can crash with who you meet in the program, that's great. The buddy system is again completely optional, but it's really going to help you get the most out of the program if you opt to do it. For folks who choose to do the buddy system, you will be supported with kind of like a how to get started guide in the digital workbook that will offer kind of like an outline and some like questions to get you started so that that first session awkwardness is totally fine, but just so that first session maybe feels a little less awkward, a little bit less like, oh, what are we doing here? And as you heard earlier in the podcast, this is just one of many features to help you get the most out of this program, to feel connected to your group mates, and also to feel like you can have a sense of belonging in your relationships beyond and outside of the program. Registration is open through Tuesday, March 10th. And if you want to get a taste of what the program is like, what I'm like facilitating a group, what hanging out with other mixed people is like, join us tonight for the Belonging Blueprint. You can sign up. The link is in my show notes, and I can't wait to see you there.